Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. In this episode, I've decided to do a totally different type of content altogether. It's still relative. It's all about art and creativity and carving, but it also has to do with all the other arts. Question is, what's the difference between creativity and artistic ability? My name is Jeff Moore. I am the Northwoods Carver. Thanks for seeing what I saw. So this is an article off of a website called Magnify Mind. This is not my article. I did not write it. I just found it very cool and intriguing. So I'm going to see if I can't read this for you. And these are the types of thoughts that occupy my mind. And I don't know why. It's just the way it is. So creative versus artistic. Know the difference and which one is important. Well, I can tell you right now, they're both ridiculously important. Okay, so it says here, not every creative individual is an artist, despite the fact that the two qualities have a lot of overlap. There are significant distinctions between a creative personality and an artistic one. This is why I want to read this kind of stuff. Hopefully this helps you define yourself and helps you discover which way you're overlapping one way or the other. It's important to understand the difference between the two so that you can know which one is more important for your needs. So the big question here is, what's the difference between creative and artistic? There is often a great deal of confusion surrounding the terms creative and artistic. In general, creative refers to the ability to come up with new and original ideas, while artistic refers to the ability to express those ideas in a visually or verbally compelling way. However, it is important to note that these are two separate skill sets. Many people are creative, but not particularly artistic, and vice versa. For example, a person who comes up with new marketing strategies may be considered creative, while a person who designs the accompanying advertisement campaign may be considered artistic. Ultimately, both creativity and artistry are valuable assets in their own right. What defines an artist or an artistic person? An artistic person can be defined in many ways. They may be someone who is creative and expressive, someone who has a passion for the arts, or someone who simply enjoys exploring their creative side. However, there are some common traits that often characterize artistic people. They tend to be problem solvers, using their creativity to find new and innovative solutions. They are often open-minded and curious, also always exploring new ideas and perspectives. And they tend to be highly sensitive, with a deep appreciation for beauty and aesthetics. Whether they are painters, musicians, or sculptors, artists, artistic people often see the world in a unique and special way. What defines a creative person? There is no single answer to this question, as creativity is a complex and multi-dimensional concept. However, there are some common factors that often define creative individuals. Many creative people have a high degree of divergent thinking, meaning that they are able to generate a wide range of ideas and solutions to problems. They are also often good at seeing relationships between disparate concepts, and they are comfortable with ambiguity and change. In addition, creative people often have a strong sense of intuition, and they are always willing to take risks. All of these factors come together to help creative individuals come up with the new innovative ideas. Is creativity a skill or a talent? I got a lot to say about all this stuff, but I'm just going to continue. Is creativity a skill or a talent? The debate over whether creativity is a skill or a talent has been ongoing for many years, with no clear consensus. On the one hand, some argue that creativity is a talent that cannot be taught. After all, some people seem to be naturally more creative than others, and no amount of training can change that. On the other hand, others maintain that the creativity is a skill that can be learned and developed over time. This viewpoint points to the fact that many highly creative people have gone through extensive training and practice in their fields. In the end, there may not be a definitive answer to this question. However, what is certain about both skills and talent are necessary for any great artist or creator? That's true. Is artistic skill learned or natural? Here we go. Here comes the old can of worms. I'm getting ready. Hopefully, if you guys are totally down with this kind of content, make sure you like and subscribe and smash that notification bell. Also, give me some something to talk about in the comment section, and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can on the next video. I love doing this kind of stuff, so if it's cool with you guys, let's continue. Is an artistic skill learned or natural? The debate over whether artistic skill is learned or natural has raged for centuries, with no clear consensus emerging. On the one hand, it is undeniable that some people seem to have a natural talent for art. They are able to create beautiful works with little effort, and their skills continue to develop as they gain more experience. On the other hand, there are many examples of people who have worked hard to hone their skills and become masterful artists. It is clear that they have put in the hours of practice needed to achieve such a high level of proficiency. Ultimately, it is likely that both nature and nurture play a role in the development of artistic ability. Some people may have a natural predisposition for art, but without dedicated practice, their talents will remain undeveloped. For others, the practice may not come naturally, but with enough effort, they can still produce stunning works of art. Does an artist need creativity? Many people believe that creativity is a necessary talent for an artist. After all, how can someone create a beautiful painting or an intricate sculpture if they lack the imagination to come up with new ideas? I think I can answer that one, but I'll just keep reading. However, some artists argue that creativity is not required for success. In fact, many successful artists have relied on techniques and styles that they've developed over the centuries. That have been developed. They didn't do it. It has been developed over centuries. For example, the realism of the Renaissance painters was based on a careful study of the world around them, while Impressionist painters sought to capture the fleeting effects of light and color. As these examples show, there are many ways to create art without relying on creativity. Ultimately, the decision of whether or not to be creative is up to the individual artist. Now let's just put this in perspective. So if you happen to see something and you paint it, and you're a good painter, you've practiced, and you happen to capture that thing, whatever it is, and it just comes out a certain way, others would perceive that as creativity. I'm just saying. Just because you put it out there and no one's seen it before. Even though it comes natural to you, you're not creating, you're not trying to like reach to the stars. You're just like painting what's in front of you. So I think that's where the debate is. Is that creativity, or are you just painting what you see? I shall digress. Which one is more important, creative, artistic? The debate of whether creativity, artisticability is more important has been going on for centuries with no clear consensus. All right. On one hand, creativity is often seen as the key ingredient in art, as it is what allows artists to come up with new and innovative ideas. Artistic ability, on the other hand, is seen as the ability to execute those ideas in a skillful and beautiful way. Both of these qualities are important in art, but which one is more important depends on the individual artist. I believe that to be true. For some, the ability to come up with creative ideas is more important than the ability to execute them perfectly, anyway. These artists may be more interesting in experimenting and pushing boundaries than in creating traditional works of art. For others, the opposite may be true. They may place more emphasis on a technical mastery and regard creativity as secondary. Ultimately, there is no right or wrong answer. It all comes down to personal preference. And that's where it gets tricky. So here's the final thought. Creative thinking is the ability to come up with new ideas or solutions, while artistic thinking is the ability to express those ideas in a creative way. Both creative and artistic thinking is important in many fields, including the arts, business, and design. However, creative thinking is often more important in fields where innovation is key, such as science and technology. In contrast, artistic thinking is often more important in fields where self-expression is valued, such as the arts. Ultimately, both creative and artistic thinking are skills that can be learned and improved with practice. And while they may differ in some ways, they are both essential for success in many areas of life. Okay, so that is that. So my take on it is creativity and artistic ability. So I think we all have creativity. I think that we almost have to as people. But I do know some really good artists that aren't very creative, at least from a it's almost like there's a disconnect between their skill level as an artist and their skill level as a creator. Like they can create great stuff and not be able to, like they say, execute it. And then there's another class where they can, they're very skilled in their art form but aren't creative. It's almost as if the artistic endeavor slayed the creative process, and I don't know. I think what happens is especially if you're classically trained or whatever, they kind of put you in a mold, and that's now once you're out of that school of thought, you have to somehow go out into the world and be a free thinker and somehow be creative, even though that was kind of drilled out of you or washed out of you while you were in training. So I mean, depends on where you were trained, I suppose, and what medium and who your mentors are or whatever. I mean, it all I think boils down to if you were creatively flowing for years and years and were able to pursue with passion your artistic creation, the creative process, and really refine yourself and your approach and your execution of the tools or the whatever medium you're in. I think if you got both, I mean, you're pretty much going to be unstoppable, honestly. I mean, I know some very creative people that are brilliant but can't draw a lick, you know. And I know people that can paint and draw and sculpt that are amazing artists that usually use resources to do so, myself included. I mean, I do a lot of stuff right out of my head, but then again, sometimes when I want to get close to something, I'll try to grab a resource as many angles as I can. Like if I'm going to do a specific piece, I want all the answers in front of me, because I know if I can just nail that or get it close, I'm going to be creative and artistic enough to fill in the voids. So I believe that the lack of artistic ability that I possess is my calling card. You know, it's like we got so close, but you know, that's kind of, and then, you know, I have limitations as being a carver as well. So like you'll see those, but when they all bond together, it looks cool, man. It's like some parts look overly refined and others look kind of rough, but as long as it's consistent throughout the whole piece, now you've got something. So with that being said, I just want to say thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I'll come up with another one of these things, but I'm totally going to leave it up to the viewer or the listener, as it were, to see what kind of concepts you would like to come up with, or if you'd like me to come up with something, read about something, or whatever. So until then, this is Jeff Moore, the Northwoods Carver. Thanks for seeing what I saw.